Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back to my channel Biology Access. So today we are going to discuss about the topic mitosis or meiosis. So let's get started. Ever you wondered that how your body grows or how babies get half of their DNA from each parents? It's all thanks to the two powerful processes, which is mitosis and meiosis. But what's the difference? Let's break it down under 5 minutes. Mitosis helps you to grow and heal, whereas meiosis helps you to make babies. So let's go and see more detail into these topics. Okay. So let's start with mitosis. Mitosis. It is a process of cell division where chromosomes are replicated and separated into two genetically identical cells. Okay, so mitosis is a type of cell division that produces two identical daughter cells from one parent cell, and it is used for growth of an organism, repair of damaged tissue, asexual reproduction. And let's see more uses of mitosis. Over here it's that mitosis it repair the damaged tissue which occurs in our body. It happens in the body of somatic cell. It does not change the chromosomes number and no genetic variations occur in the cell. So now let's see the stages of mitosis, like how the mitosis occur in the body. So basically it has 6 steps, whereas interphase is not that much of technically part of the mitosis, but it's essential. It goes from interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and then cytokinesis. During the stage, what happens to the cell is that in interphase, the cell grows and it prepares to divide. The DNA is replicated. You can see that over here the cell is growing. It grows like it gets bigger, and the DNA gets replicated. It gets duplicated. You can say that it forms a duplicate chromosome, which is also known as sister chromatids. Okay, then the next step is prophase, where the where the chromatin condenses into visible chromosomes. Like the chromatin over here, you can see that the chromatin over here is not that much of visible, but in prophase it is visible. We can see that. Okay, each chromosomes is made of 2 sister chromatids. Over here the nuclear envelope breaks down and the spindle fibers also begins to form over there. Spindle fibers is the like a small dotted line, which I'll show you in the further diagrams also. It starts to begin from the centrioles. Okay, and then the step is metaphase. Metaphase is the step where the chromosomes line up at the cell's equator. Equator means it comes in the equal of the cell, becomes equal. Okay, it comes in the equal of the cell like this, in the equal of the cell. And then the spindle fiber attaches to the centromeres over here. The chromosomes are lying in the middle of the dividing cell, and the spindle fiber attaches to the centromeres. And then the next step is anaphase, where the spindle fiber pulls sister chromatid apart to opposite side. Over here in anaphase step, the chromosome is being pulled into a different section or pulled away from each other. Okay, into opposite poles, into the opposite pole, it's get pulled away, and each chromatid becomes an individual chromosomes. Okay, like in the last stage, we can see in the telophase stage that it has become 2 individual cells. I mean, it started to become 2 individual cells. The chromosomes reach each opposite poles and it decondenses. Nuclear envelopes form around both the sets and 2 identical nuclei are formed here. Over here you can see that around the nucleus, the membrane has formed around the nucleus in the telophase, but it has not yet created 2 individual cells, but rather it has created a membrane around the chromatid, right? a nuclear membrane is formed at first in telophase, and then finally in cytokinesis, to the cytoplasm splits. Here the cytoplasm splits, it forms two genetically identical daughter cells, and this is basically the total process of mitosis, and it produces two identical cells, like the chromosomes number are completely same, the genes are same, everything is same in both of this cell. Okay, there is nothing different, it is completely identical. Okay, now let's move on to the process meiosis. Let's break down meiosis. Meiosis is the type of cell division that produces four cells with half the number of chromosomes from the parent cell. The process is responsible for producing egg cells and sperm cells. Meiosis is a special type of cell division that produces four genetically different cells, each with half the number of chromosomes. And what is the key difference between meiosis and mitosis is that meiosis occurs through two divisions, meiosis I and meiosis II, and it includes crossing over and independent assortment, what we can see in the further of the video. So let's get started with the stages of meiosis. So start with meiosis I, which occurs first. So it happens first, the prophase stage. The meiosis I is similar to mitosis. Actually, it is quite similar to mitosis, except that in meiosis, in prophase I and metaphase, the crossing over and independent assortment takes place, which does not take place in mitosis. So let's get deep into it. In prophase I, the chromosomes condenses like as in mitosis. Okay, so in prophase I, the chromosomes condenses, the homologous chromosomes pair up to form tetrans, and the crossing over occurs. What does crossing over means? Crossing over, it is the process where homologous chromosomes exchange genetic material with each other. Okay, so it takes place in prophase I. In meiosis, like in this step, crossing over takes place. Okay, don't confuse it with meiosis I and meiosis II. In meiosis I prophase, crossing over takes place. What happens is that, how it works is that the homologous chromosomes, like what is homologous chromosomes? It is the pair of chromosomes, one from mother and one from father. So they come closer, come closer to each other, and look at this part, it's get exchanged, the genes get exchanged, and it is completely random, and it gives more variation into the cell. Due to this crossing over, no gametes are similar to each other except for identical twins. Okay, in prophase I, what happens is that the chromatid, it becomes more condensed, the nuclear envelope breaks down. Okay, the tetrads are formed. Here you can see that the chromatids exchange segments of alleles, resulting in different gene combinations. Then the next step is metaphase I. In metaphase, independent assortment takes place. This is another special process which takes place in meiosis but not in mitosis. It also helps in giving the cell more variation, due to what? No, even if you are siblings, you are not similar to each other. Even if the parents are same, all the children are not similar to each other because of this type of variation which takes in the gamete cell. In metaphase I, the nucleus disappear and the chromosomes are lying in the middle of the dividing cell, and spindle fiber, this is known as spindle fiber, this is spindle fiber which I said, that you'll see in the further diagrams, that this is known as spindle fiber which starts to form. Okay, it attached. And what is independent assortment? If I explain that, it is one of the key concepts in genetics and mechanics. that contribute to genetic diversity during meiosis. It occurs during metaphase 1 of meiosis, and it refers to random arrangement of homologous chromosome along the metaphase plate. Okay, so how does it happen is that when homologous chromosomes line up in metaphase 1 of meiosis, they do so randomly. Like it happens completely randomly. Each chromosome from a pair, one from the mother, like each chromosomes from the pair, like one from the mother and one from the father, can align on either side of the metaphase plate. Like this is known as a metaphase plate, and the genes are completely randomly scattered in over there. This means that the combination of the chromosome that gets separated into different gametes is completely random. It is completely random, and that's why the babies which are produced are not similar to each other, except for the twins. And the next step is anaphase 1. In this process, in this stage of the process, the homologous chromosomes are split and pulled towards opposite poles of the cell. And then the last stage of meiosis 1 is telophase 1. Over here you can see that the membrane has already formed around the chromosomes, right? The nuclear membrane has already formed, but the cytoplasm is still connected, like the mitosis 1. So the two new sets of non-identical cells are generated. The nucleus starts to form around each new cells. Like so, now let's see the process meiosis 2. In meiosis 2, prophase 2, metaphase, anaphase, telophase also occur, and it is similar to mitosis. Over here, random assortment, crossing over, then a crossing over doesn't occur, independent assortment doesn't occur. It is a complete mitosis process, we can say that. Meiosis 2. Over here, in prophase 2, spindle fibers reform around the chromosomes of each new cells. In metaphase 2, the nucleus disappears, the chromosomes align in the middle of the dividing cell. In anaphase 2, the sister chromatids are split and pulled towards the opposite poles of the cell. You can see that it's similar to mitosis. In telophase 2, two new sets of non-identical cells are generated from each divided cell. The nucleus start to form around each new cells. As I said before, the key difference between meiosis and mitosis is that it involves two divisions, meiosis 1, meiosis 2, whereas mitosis involves only one division, mitosis. Meiosis, we can say that meiosis 1 is totally different from mitosis, whereas meiosis 2 is absolutely similar to mitosis. In meiosis 1, the only difference is that crossing over takes place and independent assortment takes place, which does not happen in mitosis. But it only occurs in the process of meiosis in the first division, like in the first place, and not in the second place. In the second place, in meiosis 2, it is completely a normal process like mitosis, that in prophase 2 the spindle fiber starts to form, the nucleus disappear, the the chromosomes align in the middle, and in anaphase the chromosomes are split at the end, are pulled, and it is pulled towards the opposite poles, and in telophase become two new sets of non-identical cells. Okay, so this was the key difference, and this was the complete process of meiosis and mitosis. So let's dig further into it, like what's the difference between mitosis and meiosis. So just to make lives easy, I have made this table to make the concept more clear, like what's the difference between mitosis and meiosis. So mitosis, it produces two identical cells, whereas meiosis produces four genetically different cells. Like in mitosis, the cells are identical, but in meiosis, the cells are not identical because of crossing over and independent assortment, as I explained before. Mitosis is used for growth and tissue repair, whereas meiosis is used for sexual reproduction. Mitosis occur in body, like in body cells, in somatic body cells, whereas meiosis occur in reproductive cells. Mitosis mitosis is one cell division, whereas meiosis is two cell divisions, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, as I said before. No crossing over and no genetic variation is seen in mitosis, whereas crossing over happens in prophase 1, and uh, and due to that the genetic variation also occurs. Daughter cells are haploid, like 2n. What is like the chromosomes number is 46, whereas the daughter cells are haploid, which is n. Chromosome number stays the same, 2n, which is diploid. As I said before, the chromosomes number is halved, which is n. These are the key differences between mitosis and meiosis. And just to make things easier, I have formed this table to make you guys understand it more easily. So now we can go to the next topic, which is where do mitosis and meiosis occur in our body? It's one of the basic questions, so let's see the answer. Why does mitosis occur? Mitosis happens in all body cells. Like it happens in the body cells, which is known as somatic cells, except the reproductive cell. For example, skin cell for healing cuts and growing new skins, hair root cells for hair growth, bone marrow for making blood cells, liver cells for repair and regeneration, muscle cells for growth and repair. So what mitosis does is that mitosis helps with growth, repair, and replacing dead or old cells. So mitosis occurs in the body cells, like which is known as the somatic cells, except for the reproductive cells. So where does meiosis occur? Meiosis happens only in the reproductive organ to make gametes, like sperm cell or egg cells. In humans, it is in like testes in males, which makes sperm cells, and ovaries in female, which makes egg cells in the ova. Meiosis creates genetic diversity and ensure that offspring get half the chromosomes from each of the parents. So meiosis is only the process which is required to produce it happens only in the reproductive organ to make gamete cells, like for example sperm or egg cells. Other than in the whole body, only mitosis occur. Okay, so you can see through this layer diagram that mitosis occurs in body cells, whereas meiosis occurs in reproductive organ like testes and ovaries. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, share and subscribe, and press the bell icon to get all the latest videos that I share in this YouTube channel. Thank you.